sparking some conversations and heated debates around here. The league is moving fast, as always, both leagues. And so we're heading into that final stretch, and now is the perfect time for us to have some of these conversations. As always, the best panel in the world joining me today is obviously the lovely Ashley,
Hey.
Mr. Chris Lucci, Unk, Aaron Miller. Oh, nice tip that to you too, and Kyle Murph. All right, chat. Again, as always, again. I'm going to continue to say this because you guys really are truly amazing, but thank you for rocking with us. But let's go ahead and get right to it. Kyle, what we got?
All right, so first off, Tim Legler just ranked his top 5 duos currently in NBA, notably placing Jokic and Murray at number 3, behind the Celtics, Tatum and Brown, and the Thunder's SGA and Jalen Williams. So the other two, number 4, Luka and Bron, and Giannis and Miles Turner. So with the reigning champs at number 2 and Jokic at number 3, Jokic and Murray at number 3, are we collectively disrespecting the duo of Jokic and Murray, or has the youth and speed of OKC and the talent in Boston really the best duos in the leagues currently?
Correct.
Which part?
Which part?
The Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are, without question, the number 1 duo in the NBA currently, from an individual standpoint and from a team standpoint. Individually, they are both all NBA and all-star caliber players, and both are MVP caliber players. They have a chip together, and up until last year, they didn't know what it was like not to get to the bare minimum, the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals. All right. So yes, they are definitively the best duo in the league. If Jason Tatum is playing this whole year, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be the clear-cut number 1 choice to win the finals this year. The thing that's shocking to me is he put Giannis and Miles Turner on there. Like, what? What are we talking about? Like, Jalen Brunson and Cat don't exist? Like, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell don't exist?
I didn't even see that. Oh yeah, number 5.
Yeah, number 5. What?
I mean, Chris, what do you think? I know we kind of talked about this earlier.
Yeah, we did. I think the first 2 perfect. For me, 3, I'm like Wimbiana and whoever. Pick whichever guard that you like on their squad, and it's Victor and him. Whoever that is that you like. I think he did a hell of a job with picking the first 2 because, as Aaron said, of course, I believe Jalen and JT definitely are the best. And then, coming right behind them, I mean, you got champions, you got experience, and you got all-stars with SGA and Jalen. So the first 2, they check every box individually. They check every box from a standpoint of championships. And, they're basically leading the league, top of their divisions, if you will. So I think you got that right out the way. For me, I know everybody loves Jokic, and I think Murray is fantastic during the playoffs and really good. I just don't think him individually checks enough boxes. I would move Jokic and them down maybe to 5. I don't know why Luka and LeBron are necessarily on there. And, for me, I would think that you go Wemby. And what's the little guard? The point guard. Did he make All-Star this year? Not Castle, but the one from the Kings.
De'Aaron Fox.
Who's having the best season for them? They got 4 guards, young guards, and then Fox. Who's having the best season of all of them? Did any of them make All-Star?
No, I think it's just Wemby.
Yeah, I think just Wemby, yeah.
Okay, so none of them made All-Star. So for me, it'd be no different. It'd be Wemby and whoever. Wemby and the sidekick is very similar to Jokic, and sidekick being, he just has one choice, Jamal Murray. I think that's paying homage to LeBron and Luka, but I don't know that they're top 5 duel. And I just think the whole Giannis and Miles Turner was a mishap altogether. But I I ain't mad at the list. I think we can argue in a bunch of different ways on, who's 4 and who's 5. But I think you got the first 2 right, and I'd go with Victor and whoever, and Nikola and Murray. You can argue about 6 different duos for those next trio, because you're not coming with another superstar or another respect. LeBron is a superstar. You're not coming with another all-star per se. I don't know if LeBron was all-star from a playing standpoint, or he was just kind of given that because of his stature. So I think the top 2 I think it's miles apart. JT and JB, SG and Jalen, and then I think it's a huge gap between whoever would be 3rd, 4th, or 5th. What do you think, Ashley?
I'm not mad at the first 2 being who they are. I'm with you with the Luka LeBron. I'm not really sure about that duo being on there either. The last 2, honestly, like you said, I think you can make other cases for other duos. But I definitely see Jason and Jalen being top, which I find even more impressive, seeing that duo has only been a duo for however long it's been this season.
I'm curious if this is based on talent or something else. Because if it's talent, then yes, this definitely, I don't think would be.
What would something else be?
Miles Turner got talent like that?
That's what I'm
I think
saying.
he's just
Like,
putting names.
so that's what I'm trying to figure out what this is.
I think this is just going based off of them as individual and them from a team success standpoint. If that's the case, what fucking success has the Bucks had as a whole this year? Like what? Everybody on 1 through 4, playoffs, lottery. Like, what the fuck? You're not even in the play-in. I pick LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller before I pick Giannis.
Come on, man. Right. Shit, you ain't lying. Yeah.
Shit,
we're talking about a duo that's actually accomplished something this season. Yes, I would take LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller over Giannis and Miles Turner. Obviously not from an individual standpoint. Ain't none of them dudes touching Giannis. But as a duo,
what about who
and Brandon Miller having a better season than them 2?
I mean, if that's the case, you go Cade and Jalen Duren, right?
Them too.
I mean, they have. I think after the first 2, you literally have 10 options to go with who would be next. I mean, why wouldn't Cade and Jalen Duren? Cade, 1st or 2nd, 3rd team All NBA. Jalen Duren, breakout year, top of the conference, was leading. I think at one point was leading everyone with a record for a minute. Best record. Jalen Duren, also an all-star. Shit, both under 25. That mean anything? Yeah. I mean, so
Shit, yeah, Brooks and Booker too, before the injury.
Like, come on, man. I don't know what Tim Legler's on, and the fact that this is Tim Legler saying this, and he's a, San Antonio Spurs guy. He even put his own team on there. Like,
yeah, I'm surprised at that.
Okay,
right,
so if you, real quick, so just stay on this. If you remove the talent aspect of this list, then in a final series, what duos do you trust the most in? Give me the list of that 5.
What duos do I trust the most? Do I trust the most in terms of like who's going to carry me to the finals?
Who's going to get it done? Yeah, who's going to win that 7-game series? Those 2 guys.
Yeah. He's saying in the finals, 7-game series. Boom, rank them.
Oh, Tatum and Brown.
Okay, who follows?
Jokic and Murray.
Jokic and Murray.
And again,
SGA and Jay Williams. The first 3 I have no problem with.
Yeah, that's where I was going with this list. I wasn't looking at talent. That's why I always look at these duos. Like, have they won before? What's their chemistry like? Can they get it done? In that regard, those first 3 are locked in for me.
I would love to say Luka and LeBron, but I haven't seen them in the finals together. So how am I supposed to say they're going to win a 7-game series in the finals if I haven't seen them do it together yet? So far, the only playoff experience I have to go off of is a first-round exit from last year, and we were the 3 seed.
So Ashley, let me ask you this. Let me piggyback off this. Ash, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
If that's the case, because essentially what we're all saying, or what Darian and Aaron are basing this on, is past. So does that mean with Cade and Duran, because they're so young and just now having success, but having it at a uber elite level, do you have to remove them? Do you just like cancel them out because of, well, I got to see them do it? Or do you say, or can you judge from a scouting standpoint and say, hey, they are good enough, not good enough, or pick holes or campaign for them? Where would you stand in that regard?
Well, when you're talking about D's question, I think it's a little bit different because he's talking about a trust level to get that done. I think you can analyze them and make a decision and be like, yeah, they could definitely get it done. But at the end of the day, trust comes from showing something, really, mostly. So when you're looking at other people, I wouldn't necessarily rank them higher than duos that have actually done what Darion's asking us about. So for me personally, it doesn't necessarily remove them, but it's not going to help them in the ranking of what we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I got to see him get it done. Otherwise, I mean, like list of duos, KD and Kyrie on paper would have been the scariest ones, but they did nothing together. They didn't accomplish nothing. So like that wouldn't even be two names that you would even put on a list of best duos, right?
Yeah.
So like that's my regard.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with the closing test. So if the Nuggets win it all, where would you start ranking Jokic and Murray in the all-time duos?
Not in the top 5. If that's what you're thinking, you're gonna have a tough.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, you're gonna have a tough time convincing me to put them over Mike and Scotty, Magic and Kareem, Shaq and Kobe. Whether you want to say Curry or Clay or Curry and KD,
Say both.
or Duncan and Parker. Like you're gonna have a tough time convincing me, or LeBron and D Wade. Like you're gonna have a tough time convincing me to take one of those 6 to 7 teams or duos off the top. Sorry. Also, my mom put something in the chat. Love you, Mom. Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Could they be top 10?
Yeah, for sure. They could be top 10.
I was thinking that too. You said Jordan, Pippen, Magic, Kareem, Duncan, Parker, Shaq, Kobe, Curry, Thompson, Bird, McHale, LeBron, Wade. I see. If we can only stay with one Curry, then yeah. But then KD and Curry. So maybe 10 or 11. No, Chris, who you got?
It's just too much history. It's just too much history, man. It's like you can't just skip over.
It's crazy.
You got the bad boys. Are they better than Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, who are both multiple All-Stars and in the Hall of Fame? So that means your boy Murray got to get to the Hall of Fame. He has to play himself into the level that he's a Hall of Famer. It's just too much basketball. You can't just skip past history, eons of basketball, because you haven't seen enough, and then say, shit, man, they won the championship. Oh, they're doing pretty good, had a really good finals, and here they come again. And maybe if they win another one, they're automatically in the top 10, 11. It's just too much basketball to say anything like that. It's just too many great players, great tandems, too many teams that went back to back to just skip all the way up and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna rank these guys in it. No, I would say they'd be pretty good. They'd be pretty good. Maybe they would be one of the top 20-ish duos, but the amount of teams that's won back to back. So everybody that Olajuwon has played with, I mean, even though you didn't have Hall of Famers, he's played with other really good players. The bad boys, it's just too much basketball.
Shout out Bill Russell and Bob Cousy.
Come on now. I mean, like, facts. Jamal Murray is a really good talent. He is like describing him of so many other just great players that have played in the NBA that are not in the top 75 there's so many just really good guards, especially. And so even though Jokic is that good, then you just got to go back and say, well, name everybody that Kareem has played with. Oscar, the Big O. And like, think of all of the people that every top 75 player that's played with that was an all-star. You would be skipping past all of those guys. So you're basically saying if Olajuwon played with Clyde Drexler, who's in the top 75, then up that duo. It's just too many. It's too much basketball.
I mean, I feel like it's more of a testament to Jokic than it is for them as a duo, even though that I think Murray has really held it down for his position where he's at. But at the end of the day, like, he's not considered a superstar or even an all-star. Like, he's just one of those really, really good basketball players. So Jokic being as dominant as he is, being able to take that team without a definitive all-star or superstar on his team, I think is more of a testament to Jokic than anything.
Yeah, then you have to do the same thing with Shaq. So then you got to go Shaq and Kobe. Then you also got to go Shaq and D Wade. You understand what I'm saying? So you're like, every super elite player that's been that dominant, like Shaq, like Tim Duncan, like all of these guys that have won multiple championships, like Hakeem Olajuwon, then now you got to look at who they played it with that was an all-star talented player and say, okay, now where do they rank as well? And like just going with Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, won championship, but Clyde, top 75 all-time player, Olajuwon, MVP guy. Like, it's a lot of people to skip past and have him bring that level of a player. No disrespect to Murray because it's in today's game, and I actually love him as a player. But Jokic he's not that good to carry a pretty good player all the way to all-time great duels, in my opinion. But I don't mean to mess with, look, I don't mean to kill the vibe on the chat, you know what I mean? Like, y'all can go back at me and tell me I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm just telling you that's where I'm at with it.
Do you think complement each other?
They said
best. Three come to mind. Jordan, Scotty,
Kobe,
Magic, and I was gonna say Magic and Kareem, and then I'm gonna go on a limb on this one. Even though they didn't win anything together, they did play well together because from what they accomplished with each other in that time span was, pretty fucking good. And I was gonna say Stockton and Malone. Was Stockton and Malone together? Malone became the second leading scorer in NBA history, and John Stockton has two records that'll probably never be broken, and that's the assists and steals record.
Cool. All right, shifting gears a little bit. Stephen A. Smith went on First Take today. This today or yesterday?
It was technically yesterday.
Recently, to praise the Atlanta Hawks midseason turnaround, calling them dangerous sleeper in the East. So are you guys putting any stock into the Atlanta Hawks right now in terms of an identity shift for them, right? A new culture maybe, even with the absence of Trae Young? Or is this one of those things where this is a team having a good time right now, but ultimately it won't matter?
Good time that won't matter.
Yeah, I'm with Kyle on that one.
Why do you think that?
Well, me,
both. You guys in agreement together?
I mean, I still believe that in chemistry. I think they're a little too young. I think it's just because there was a lot of proving factor. Like, everybody thought that the Hawks would just be trash, and now they're gone. They lost their franchise player. Daniels is still developing as the guy. So, I mean, it's cool. It's fun. I love to see it. I think they're going to be annoying. They're going to be like a gnat in the playoffs, but they're not going to. If they win, it'd be a Cinderella story. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's going to be a Cinderella story. It's going to be one of those things where it was a straight will type of win, but not like I don't count on them doing anything. I don't see them beating the Knicks, Detroit, Celtics, or the Cavs. So I don't see them beating them at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think that when I'm looking at the Eastern Conference, like, I don't see them like really facing any of those people and doing some damage in the playoffs and making a run or anything. So that's really where my head's at with that. But I would love if they did some Cinderella shit. I love seeing shit like that.
I mean, is an identity shift? Yeah, it's just not right now. Like they're trending upwards to where they're about to, change how people view them in terms of a serious threat in the East, especially for a playoff contending team. But this is going to be a first round exit. You would have to play the Cavaliers first round. Yeah. Cavs in 5. All right. Resign Kuminga to a long term. And then go ahead and do what you got to do in free agency, see what you pick up, see what you drop off, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, I like that. So on this team, who are you most excited to see reach their full potential? Because they're young, they're relatively young.
Oh, that's for sure, Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Really?
Yeah. Jalen Johnson and Kuminga, just because how bad he was treated in Warriors. So like for him to come out and be an all-star or something crazy like that, I do want him to do that, but Jalen Johnson and Kuminga is kind of 50-50 for them.
Yeah. At his height, what do you think Jalen could be?
All NBA.
Maybe 6'8", yeah.
All NBA.
All NBA.
So top 10 player in the league.
Top 15. Maybe not first or second team, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like next year he'll probably make that leap to be an all NBA player. Especially if the Hawks are like, if they get better next year, like if they're like a top 3 seed, 4 seed, I don't see any reason why he can't make at best case scenario, second team all NBA or third team all NBA. I mean, the man averages damn near a triple double. So the numbers are just going to get better and better and better as he grows.
Yeah. Listen, let me chime in. Since I live in the A, let me tell you something, okay? Mm-hmm. Jalen Johnson is outstanding. The next Cade Cunningham, right? The young man is leading the Hawks in points, leading the Hawks in rebounds, leading the Hawks in assists. All right. And he may be leading us in minutes or something like that. I believe he's leading us in minutes as well. He does it. He does it all. Literally does everything. That surge, I think they went on a 10-plus winning streak, regardless of who they were playing. For a young player to be leading and you trade a guy that may have been considered your leader, got the ball in his hand. Jalen Johnson is an example of where the league is going, right? The small point guards, they're kind of doing away with those guys. I mean, you've seen guys recently, Dillingham and other guys like Cam Thompson, like guys getting waived, guys, smaller guys. I mean, McCollum, Dame Lillard, like phasing out at this stage in their career. So teams are going with bigger guards. They're going with, hey, get a ball to my best player. And Jalen is doing a hell of a job. I mean, the 10 rebounds a game with the ball in your hand, carrying a heavy load, as well as being able to distribute and score. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that they're going, deep in the playoffs, but why would you want to play a team that's confident, that's young, that's athletic, that plays with energy? Why would you want to play a team like that in the playoffs? Yes, the only thing they don't have is experience, but the fact that they don't have experience makes them scary. I mean, today's players, they disrespectful a little bit from the standpoint, like they don't care. They in your face, right? What era did we ever see where players are talking so much crap to the legends that's on the floor? Steph Curry and these guys are running into players that are literally talking shit to them on the floor. That's that age where they're at now. So I wouldn't want to play the Hawks. I mean, bunch of young, long, athletic, talent. So I like where the Hawks are going. I like the moves that they made. They're making history for more than just Magic Monday. And the win streak, I think, is important. I love it. And, yeah, remember where you heard it. Jalen Johnson is your next superstar. He will be an all-NBA player, as Aaron alluded to earlier. I don't think this is far away. I think literally next year he should be a guy. He's going to be an all-star and first, second, or third team all-NBA next year. I mean, only thing that he needs is Where is his marketing and marketing team for the standpoint of just making sure he has the exposure and commercials and things of that nature so that he's more of a household name? Look at them stats. With those stats, he could be in any conversation.
I had no idea that they were a 5th seed until I just looked that up.
Mm-hmm.
That's really solid. And Aaron, you had brought this you had brought this up. They're a 5th seed performing like this, doing well. I'm not going to say with a wasted first overall pick, but he's definitely not playing like a first overall pick. So is that a testament to like that system that they have, just how they've been able to build, getting rid of Trae Young? How do you think with that mistake per se, how they're still able to be in the 5th seed right now?
I think it's because they've realized it's like, yeah, you're our number 1 pick from 2 years ago, but obviously Alex Sarr should have been number 1.
Yeah.
Don't know why he wasn't. We all thought he was going to be. In the last minute, they said Zachary Risache, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
I know.
But it's just like they got other dudes on the team that can just do what he's supposed to be doing, but better. All right. I don't think they expected like this all of a sudden emergence of a Jalen Johnson or a Dyson Daniels, and then they go in free agency and they got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then by the trade deadline, next thing you know, here comes Kuminga. So it's like, wow, we got our 4, but nigga, you need to get in where you fit in. That's just reality of the situation. Sorry.
Yeah.
We thought you was going to be our future going forward, but here we found 3 diamond in the roughs. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with them.
That's a good point. Chris, obviously being an agent, years in the game, with him being on being in year 2, right, Aaron? Year 2 or 3?
This is his 3rd year.
Year 3, right, of that $57 million rookie deal. I mean, still number 1 pick. You can't take that away from him. But he's essentially probably the 4th or 5th option on that roster right now. So from an agent's perspective, is there a point where winning as a role player actually starts to hurt his next contract value?
Yeah, you're still selling potential, right? You know, that's your job as an agent. Sell. Talk about the future. You always want teams and ownership to look to future looks bright. Hey, that's pretty good. He still hasn't touched his potential yet. He still has a learning curve. And the fact that he still has not reached his potential and still adding value and helping you win or helping you by playing a role, imagine what he's going to be like when he reaches full potential and is able to take over, right? And do the heavy lifting. So you're in the sweet spot. You're in a great spot right now. If I'm working with you, if I'm trying to figure that out, that's what I'm selling. I'm selling the fact that he is literally affecting you with wins and losses and kind of the chemistry of your team by not reaching his potential. So that's what you're selling. When he gets here, imagine that. And so that's what you want him to sign up for.
Dope. Great perspective.
He will be traded.
He will be gone.
I loved everything you just said, Chris. By the time he gets to here, they'll be like, oh, we can get something in return for this nigga. I'm just saying. He's supposed to be your center, and your center averages 3 rebounds a game.
And guess what?
Yeah.
His agent gonna go with him to the new team and say, look what he did for them. Nah, now that he's over here, help him reach their potential. And then he really gonna be something else, no doubt.
Wait, you said he's supposed to be the center?
He's a power forward / center.
Oh,
He's
so I
like
thought
7
he was
feet
just-
tall.
He was gonna answer, he's gonna get traded.
Are you
What is he, like 6'10", 6'11"? What is he?
No, yeah. ESPN has him at 6'8". That's why
6'8"?
I'm confused because Jalen Johnson is your forward. And
Oh, that makes it even worse. That means you're playing behind a dude that plays the same position as you, and he
Yeah, that's
does
what I'm saying.
it better.
does it way better.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting traded.
He's gone, buddy. You're out of here.
You're fucking out of here, buddy. Like, I'm sorry.
Crazy.
There's potentially 2-3 dudes at his position that can play the 2 or the 3, and they're better than him. Jalen Johnson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Dyson Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do on the let me see. What is he doing with like yeah. I was trying to think maybe like steals.
Small forward. Okay, so small forward. Yeah, there's two dudes in front of him that can play that plays
He
position.
averages one steal a game.
Yeah. I saw it.
One steal a game, 10 points.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I would fit the team perfect. Yes.
All right. Moving on to the next topic. Don't know if y'all heard, but the class of 2026 Hall of Fame has been announced. The names: Amari Stoudemire, Candace Parker, Elena Deladon, and Glenn Rivers. All right. Amari and Glenn Rivers are officially in. Given Glenn's recent struggles in Milwaukee, does this induction serve as a needed reminder of his overall greatness, or is this Hall of Fame nomination a way to save the narrative on his career?
I mean, Doc's Hall of Fame, right? I mean, Doc is a player, played at high level, did great player with the Hawks. I mean, when I say great, really good player with the Hawks, really good career with the Hawks. Won a chip, won a lot of games, right? Hall of Fame is, you got guys in the Hall of Fame, never won a chip. You know what I mean? Won a bunch of games. Lenny Wilkins and other guys, I mean, just coached a long time, won, was successful. I think Doc obviously has won more than he's lost. And I think Doc really is a good coach. I just think that people tend to go to Doc with aspirations to resurrect their career or reboot it and things of that nature. And those individuals tend to have the totally opposite effect, like career killer. Like they maybe, it's like, no, he helped you get to the door faster than the opposite of rebooting your career, reestablishing your career. So I would say that, but I do think Doc is a really good coach. I think he's definitely a player's coach. His guys fought and loved him. In Boston for sure. And he had things a little scary for a while in LA with the Clippers. I mean, he had you were watching, you were wishing and hoping for more. But it, just couldn't close. And kind of the same thing I think in Houston as well. So yeah, Doc's Hall of Fame for sure. Stoudemire, listen, first $100 million guy, that in itself Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? The years that he had in Phoenix, although they didn't win anything, it was very exciting. And by doing so, you got Steve Nash, 2 MVPs. So that means the voters fucking loved him, because if they loved him so much, they loved that team so much that they voted Nash, 2 MVPs. Amari Stoudemire is a slam dunk for the Hall of Fame. That alone. Add that with the $100 million and he's good. The rest of the group, I think, is great. But I'll let you move forward with that. I hope I didn't answer too much.
Nah, I mean, I'm not going to get on Glenn too much. Because 27 seasons, over 27 seasons, all right, he ranks 6th all time in wins, all right, in total wins, 1,191. And he's reached the playoffs 21 of 27 seasons. He has an NBA Coach of the Year award. He obviously has that championship with Boston. Yeah, he's for sure Hall of Fame. But as Chris alluded to, it's just certain situations, like the aspirations that they had when Doc came in to coach a team, they just haven't worked out since Boston. So he's going to the Hall of Fame. No, I don't think anybody's ever said he's not a Hall of Fame coach, because there's coaches in the Hall of Fame that ain't won a damn thing. Like Jerry Sloan, one of the longest tenured coaches in NBA history for the Utah Jazz, in the Hall of Fame. Don't have a championship as a head coach. So I don't see why Doc can't make it.
Right.
Interesting take from you. I didn't think you would be so. I didn't expect that much class from you on this statement.
I've already got on Glenn's ass. All right. The fact that I'm not even calling him Doc is enough of an insult. All right. His government name is Glenn Tremecius Rivers. All right. I'm not sure that's his middle name. I'm just saying it.
Oh,
Is that his name?
that's disrespect.
Come on, Fresh, you know how to pronounce it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Chris, I'm with you that he's not a great coach. He's a good coach. He was a respectable player. We always talk about Hall of Fame, and I know the narrative is supposed to be it's the 1% of the 1%. It's obviously not that. So I'm not going to allude to, that's why he shouldn't be in there. I think though that if he didn't have KG and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen with that one ring in 2008, I don't think this is even a conversation of him getting into the Hall of Fame. I mean, because since 2012-ish, right? He hasn't made it past the second round. And think about that. So that's what, 12, 16, 14 years of having elite talent, elite rosters, CP3, Blake Griffin, Joel Embiid, Giannis, and 0 finals appearances to even show for that. I will say, though, that he is adored. He is loved. I just saw this video today, so it's crazy we're having this conversation that Ty Lue was saying that before he took that Cavs coaching job, he was under Doc Rivers, and he wanted to stay there. That's where he wanted to be. He was that loyal to Doc because of the guy he is. So I get that aspect of it, but being a great guy, being a player's coach, and then winning at a high level, those two things are not the same thing. And then Aaron, you brought up his win share, right? He's won a lot of games. I get that, but that's a longevity stat. He's been coaching for damn near 20 plus years, right? So of course you get enough teams, enough talent around you, you're gonna reach that number. The number I'm concerned about is how many games has he actually won in that time. And it's what, like 57, 58%. So you look at like coaches that are in the Hall of Fame, that's the middle of the pack. So Hall of Fame, I get it. We're there. It is what it is. He's going to make it. I understand. But I think he's in the Hall of Fame. We're going to be in the Hall of Fame because he survived longer than everybody else and just had enough grace, enough class to consistently get jobs. But those postseason results to me is it's what leaves him out of the conversation, for me at least. So that's my opinion on Doc. I can't see it. I don't see it. And because I've been so like vocal about like, please change the narrative. Like when we talk about please change the narrative on the Hall of Fame, like please. And then like shit like this is continuously happening. Now again, one, he deserves that aspect of it. But going forward, if another coach that gets that many wins and doesn't win, please don't put that nigga in there. That's all I'm saying.
So it's hard to change a narrative when they don't even have an established narrative.
I get that. So start to establish one, right? You can't just keep doing the same shit and then everybody keeps complaining. Like start the conversation, start putting some changes in place so that, in 10 years, 20 years, my son, your sons, their grandsons, they can start having a league that they appreciate and start looking at these Hall of Fame players like they deserve to be in here. I'm so glad they started doing this, and that. Like, come on.
But that's the problem. Because it's a committee that votes on this. So when it's a committee, that means there's multiple people, and each one of those people have a different narrative of what they think is considered Hall of Fame. So they're never going to come to a clear-cut decision like this is what we all think is Hall of Fame worthy. That's never going to happen. Even if there was a committee full of just players voting on players or coaches voting on coaches. They would you stick a group of NBA players and tell them put together the top 10 greatest players of all time. They ain't going to be able to get past 3. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You can put LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe and tell them like, hey, make your top 10. I guarantee LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe ain't going to get past 3 because they're going to be arguing among themselves which one is 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an interesting conversation because when this class was announced, I saw a lot of conversation talking about the differences that you can see with this class specifically of the narrative with the men and the narrative with the women. Because I feel like it is far more selective on the women's side. And like, not that you don't have people that might not agree or anything, but specifically these two, there's no way you find one person that's like, why are they getting in? Why do they deserve this? And this, that, and the third. Like, I promise you, if you have one person, please tell them to come talk to me if they don't agree that these two women need to be in the Hall of Fame. So I think I just find it interesting, like you're talking about the narrative and how it needs to change. Like maybe they need to go talk to, I don't think it's the same committee. Go talk to the women's committee. I don't know what it is. But I do think it seems to be a little bit more of like a political thing or whatever you want to say it. I don't know.
More political on the male side?
Yeah, because I've yet to see inductees on the women's side that I'm like, why the hell are they here? Like, I'm sure there are a couple for some people, but you can look at their resume and definitely have an argument and not really have to question too hard why these people are being inducted.
Yeah, I agree. Every time the inductees come out, they named the final selection. I've never heard anybody have an uproar about one of the WNBA players being selected in. I mean, who's going to argue with Candace Parker and Leda Deladon? Let's just be honest. Leda Deladon is the last hooper in the DMV that has done anything for that city. Has done anything for that city from a basketball standpoint. No disrespect to John Wall and Brad Beal, but they didn't deliver us a parade.
It was a popularity contest. There's more popularity contest for men. That's all it is.
So shout out to Leda Deladon for putting DC back in relevancy that one year she won us a chip. Shout out to Leda Deladon.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously they're entering together. In terms of classes that have happened previously, how influential is this particular Hall of Fame class with them too?
I think you can't really put into words how influential it is. When you let's look at them individually. Candace Parker. It's Candace Parker. Like, if you know women's basketball, Candace Parker is a staple from the ground up. If you go to her Tennessee career, if you go to her career in the W, every place she went to, she brought a ring. And she just was able to establish herself so well in every organization that she was with, that it's undeniable. She was one of the first of somebody of her stature, of her build, of her ability. Probably the first stretch four that we really saw the W to play the way that she played. And it's crazy because in my lifetime I was able to see her play, but then even with seeing her play currently, you still talk so much about how she was so influential in college and everything. And she was just, I don't know. It's hard to really put that into words. And then Elena Deladon, like, for her as well, she could have gone anywhere she wanted to in college, and she chose to go to a small school to stay close to home because she preferred family and she prioritized things that people just don't prioritize anymore. And she was able to take them to a deep run. And also her career in the WNBA too. I think these women have just stamped their name in women's basketball, and the fact that they're going in together is just a beautiful thing to see how great that they were individually and how influential it is that they're going to the Hall of Fame together.
And let's not forget Candace Parker, first and only rookie to win WNBA MVP. That alone is Hall of Fame. She could have retired right there and said, I'm good, y'all.
I'm out of here.
And the most impressive thing about that is literally after that historical season, she got pregnant. And she found out pretty soon after that, but there was no pause, no fall off in anything. She was able to come right back. And at that point, that was unheard of, to really be able to come back and bounce back like that, and still have the career that she was and still continue to be a legend. And yeah, she's just so impressive in so many ways.
I love it. So obviously being impressive is an amazing thing to be. And sometimes, even though you are impressive, you don't always necessarily get the awards that you deserve. So from your guys' perspective, who was maybe the biggest snub from this class that we need to talk about not being inducted in 2027?
Blake Griffin.
How long has he been retired? I thought you had to be retired for X amount of years.
I thought it was just 3 years removed, right?
I thought it was 5.
He's been retired for a while. I remember he was on that Brooklyn Nets team with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. That was back in 2021? So it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years. Yeah, Blake Griffin was the biggest snub for me.
For me, it was Sean Marion.
Wow.
The Matrix. All right.
Yeah. Did y'all see Tidal, or not Tidal? That's the company. To the Baja. They had a whole video segment on how impressive he was and how he ranks top 6 in certain stat lines, and he never gets any credit. Like, for me, I don't like talking about this. I don't like talking about this a lot. But my dad loved those Suns teams. Loved him and Stoudemire. So it's good to see Stoudemire getting in there. But the moment I saw that name, I'm like, I think Marion should have been in there too. He's the only. This is the stat I was talking about. He's the only player in a club of one, by the way, that finished his career with 17,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 1,500 steals, and 1,500 blocks while shooting 80% from the free throw line. I mean, again, that's a feat in itself. But he changed the game too at 6'7", and so I don't know. The only thing you can ever remember now talking about Sean Marion is his fucking jumper, and that's what people harp on. But like his game was elite. So that's someone I think that if you're gonna put other guys in there and then tie Stoudemire to that, then I think he should have been in there too.
That's fair. I don't think nobody will argue with, Sean Marion. But I'm just saying Blake Griffin, 16-time NBA All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, Slam Dunk Contest, All-Rookie First Team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And resurrected the JV squad of LA basketball, LA Clippers. All right.
Mm-hmm.
He only been gone for 3 years. So he retired in 23. His last team he played with was the Celtics.
All right, so it's been 3 years.
Okay.
I thought it was 5 years before you can actually get inducted. So I think he will be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
he better be. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think the problem with the Hall is when you get too far removed, they just forget about you. Like you have to go when you're very popular or doing something, great. Like some people didn't think that Joe Dumars, when he went to the Hall, would be a Hall of Fame guy. They were like, Joe was good, but he was kind of like Zeke's sidekick, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, he was also the general manager of the Detroit Pistons, and then doubled back with Chauncey Billups and those guys. And that after winning a championship, was an executive of the year and won a championship. So it is a popularity contest. I definitely think Sean Kemp. I mean, Penny Hardaway was super elite. Chauncey Billups, was a champion. Really good. Sidney Moncrief, I don't think is in there, and he's one of the I think he was like a 5 or 6 time All-Star and also a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. So on the pod, we've been really giving a lot of credit to the defensive side of the game. So guys that have been Defensive Player of the Year should be honored. He's a guy that won 2 of them. And then I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking about, like kind of some of my old school guys like Bill Laimbeer was big part of the Bad Boys back-to-back. One of the first guys, 7'1", was shooting the threes back in the 90s. Pick and pop 5-man. And then I don't know if Coach Cheeks, I don't know if Maurice Cheeks is in the Hall, but coach, player, multiple time All-Star. It's a lot of guys. In regards to the women, I think it's just more men than women. They had for multiple years where their awards were just specifically dedicated to men. Like there was no option for women. So I think that's kind of the lopsidedness that you have with the women right now. You just, they're still trying. There's so many that you're trying to catch up to the honor because they haven't been acknowledging them long enough. So you got to get through the super dupers before you get to something that may be arguable. Is my take.
Is there a cap or a limit on how many people can get in every year?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, I think it's a limit per year. I think it's you have to check certain boxes, right? I think it's the voting and the years, like there's certain criteria that you have to match. And I do believe that there is a limit because it's typically, hey, you can only vote for this many, and then take the top 5, the top however many, whatever that is. But there is some form of a criteria, although I don't know it.
I mean, I looked it up. It says there's no hard limit on the total number of people who can be inducted each year, but there are strict quotas on how many.
Is that so? Oh, okay. My bad. Strict. What a word. What the hell was that? Settle down. Let's face it, guys. The Clippers aren't going to be fake contenders again. I don't think we even talked about that, but what?
Jump in, making noise.
Right. God damn it!
I said y'all the JV team of LA. All right, it's Lakers, and then y'all in the basement. All right, that's where y'all was when y'all was at Staples. Now you got your own shit. Congrats. All right, Take your ball and go home. The fuck?
And going off that, quick shout out to everybody that's locked in with us live on the chat. If you're here just joining the stream, make sure you obviously hit that like button, subscribe button, and then jump in and do some stuff like homie just did. We want to hear where you stand on some of these takes. Where are we looking, Ashley?
All right. Dwyane Wade recently called Russell Westbrook's career the most underappreciated in history, labeling it one of one GOAT career. Why is there such a massive gap between how the NBA legends like Wade view Russ versus how the media and the fans talk about him?
Murph.
Me, personally, I think it's because I was talking to my brother about this today. I think it's because Russ has such a unique game. He played 100 miles per hour. He didn't have like a smooth, like actual pace when he played, and he played with so much heart and aggression. It was too rigid for the fans to actually really appreciate what he was doing every day. And I spoke about it a little bit before, and the fact that he's played with so many top tier talent players that I feel like he got overshadowed about how good he was doing. I have talked about it last pod, a couple pods ago, about like he was averaging a triple double, but then James Harden was having a breakout career too. So because James Harden's game was a little bit more palatable and like attractive to watch, then people just like, oh yeah, whatever Russ is doing, he's stat pad and he's just trying to get stats on a board, and it's just like, nah, like he's playing with his heart. And so now that he's in the back end and the back burner of his career, I think now people are starting to appreciate it. It's because it's like he's still putting up solid numbers for his, obviously his athleticism went down a little bit, but he's still putting up numbers, still doing what he has to do. He's like the only thing to watch on the Kings. And now people are like saying, oh yeah, man, Russ was one of the best players to ever do it. Like now people start to get him respect because they didn't appreciate it during real time. So that's my thought on it. I just think people just didn't appreciate what he had.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Go ahead, Nash.
I just didn't want to be the first one to say something after the question, but because Russ is my guy. But I do think that it's all about narrative. It's always going to be about narrative when it comes to the impact of a player and everything. And I think that partly because the narrative around him when he was having that historic season, when he was averaging a triple double, that people were trying to say like the stat packing and everything, and not really looking at everything else that he was doing. If you take away, because the only way you could really stat pack in a triple double is the rebounds, like, because you can't really do that with an assist for real, and points, you got to get the points. So I think that taking away the rebounding, if you want to really say like he was forcing it or whatever, like his impact on the game was undeniable. And I think that it takes somebody who really knows basketball, and why a legend like Dwyane Wade can appreciate it is because he understands basketball. He watches basketball in a different lens, and people who can truly watch basketball in the lens that can be appreciated far beyond stats and everything else and the fog that a lot of fans watch it through just are going to understand that Russell Westbrook's impact was undeniable.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that. I mean, that again, people look at spreadsheets, and that's the big thing. Like I kind of put Kyle in his box today, right? Like you're only looking at the numbers, and I understand that aspect of it because quick, it's easy. It's what kind of lasts a tell of time when stories are stopped being told by players, right? But I think, Aaron, you say this all the time, like it's not numbers with him. It's the fact that he's the fucking heartbeat, right, of every team he goes to. And that's what I've always appreciated Russ, especially when he played in OKC with KD, right? And Kyle, you said it's messy, it's loud, his game is tough. And that's exactly how he plays. But I've always appreciated that too. And I think Dwyane Wade, who's obviously speaking up for him, I mean, they're looking at him like, dude, that's a 6'3" guard who played like he was 6'10", out-hustled everybody on the floor for fucking 48 minutes. And I think that's what needs to be told going forward. But I will say, outside of the efficiency aspect of it, I was looking at this too. I wonder if people look at Russ as also someone that can't get the job done, right? You play with KD, you didn't win. You play with Paul George and Melo, you did not win. You play with Harden, you did not win. You play with Kawhi, you did not win. You play with Bron, you also did not win. So I wonder if ever that narrative is also a thought in people's minds of why they don't rank him as high. Thoughts on that?
He's usually the fall off. He's usually the blame game.
Right.
I feel like people typically point fingers at him because he does play with the motor. Like, having a legend like Dwyane Wade saying something like he had to guard Russ. So he respects what he had to he had to guard him. He respects what he had to do. And Dwyane Wade being playing both sides of the court, like he respects it. He understands what he did. He understands like the intensity and the strain it puts on your body to play that way for every single game. Because like there was even people saying like the best teammate they've ever had was Russ.
Yeah.
But then the narrative is, when he played for the Lakers, he was ass, and he actually did not have a bad season. He came to the Wizards and brought him to the playoffs after Bradley Beal got hurt. Like he does everywhere he goes, he makes an impact. But people always just want to point fingers at him because he's the loudest on the court, and he draws so much attention because they don't understand like that. You need that intensity guy. Like the intensity guy can be the superstar too. Like he just happens to be both of them.
I think the biggest reason there's a gap is because you have fans and media who, for whatever reason, just view him a certain way based off a spreadsheet that's in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the actual NBA players, the actual NBA coaches who have to see him on a daily basis, who either play with or against or coach with or coach against, are looking at him in a different lens. The greatest respect those NBA players ever receive are the ones from their actual peers. That's why fans and media, like, I could care less about what they have to say about Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna listen to what the players got to say about him. And if no player or coach has ever said a bad thing about him, then I'm gonna trust them because they're actually in there with him every day.
Clippers need to move to Mexico City.
I love it. Do you want to do that one? The whole stat stuffer thing? I think you kind of addressed that, Ashley.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I could say a comment on that it's amazing that Russ has now passed Steve Nash for 5th all time, right? A guy that his entire game and his legacy on why he was the MVP 2-time. And I know it seems like I'm beating Steve Nash up, and maybe I am. But but a guy that his whole legacy, if you will, as MVP was the mere fact that he passed the ball and he made everybody better. It was never argued that he was the best player in the league, but that he made his team so great, which that never won anything, and he got 2 MVPs out of it in a really, really important time in basketball where there was a lot of other great players in the league. They didn't get a chance to get that MVP. But yet now here's Russ passing him on the all-time assist, passing him all time from an assist standpoint, and being probably perceived, yes, a triple-double guy, but they don't lead with his assist. They lead with he was like, energy, did everything, rebounds, assists, scoring, etc. Swiss Army knife. It's just incredible for me to see him pass this super uber assist guy that got 2 MVPs. And here's Russ, who arguably could have been 2 or 3-time MVP himself. It would have been no problem with people voting him that, which goes into that one-of-one GOAT type career, if you will, that D Wade said. I mean, if Russ would have gotten MVP when definitely when James and or KD or whoever was in the mix in between that, when they were passing that trophy around between the 3 of them, he arguably could have had 2 or 3. And then where would his career be if, from a voting standpoint, that had taken place? So and close that out with that statement, if you will. But
well, almost. You brought up if there, right? If this happened, if that happened.
I don't like if. I'm just simply saying.
I know. And I'm not going to say if, right? Because he's pretty much on the tail end of his career. Like, I don't think there's anything else that he may accomplish in this next year, maybe 2 years, that will change how we view him all time, right? DeMarcus Cousins has him in the top 5 as point guards. because of again his dominant run and how great he was and triple doubles and breaking records, right? So with him officially passing Steve Nash fifth all time assist, right? I think he's now the highest scoring point guard in NBA history too. By the way, obviously broke the triple double record. Where do you guys see Russ in terms of greatest point guards of all time? What number do you have him at?
So let's see.
Unpopular opinion. I haven't said in a while. I got him 3. I got him 3 personally.
Mm-hmm. Who? Yeah, who else?
Hey, that's me. I mean, you got Steph and Magic. You know, put them whatever way you want to put them, and then Russ.
Trying to think. Yeah, Steph and Magic is a clear cut 1-2. Because James Harden's not. If you want to count James Harden,
he's a 2-1.
Yeah,
he's a
it's
one.
like that.
No,
AI
we're not doing that. You know what he is.
It's like that AI situation. Yeah, you're technically a point guard, even though you played the 2.
Harden's a point. Y'all call Harden a point guard?
I call him a shooting guard, but people like to label him as a point for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, he's shooting guard.
Yeah. That's why Pat Bev said James Harden was above Wade in terms of 2 guards. So if Pat Bev says he's a 2, I think he's a 2. But yeah, I think Russ is no. I was gonna say Big O.
Yeah, I got Big O third.
Big O 3.
But he did better. He did exactly what Oscar Robertson did, but better. He did get a chip over him, though. Oscar Robertson does have a chip. Let me say, Oscar Robertson does have a chip. But other than that, like he did what he did and made and did better. Because like I feel like Westbrook is in the point guard realm. He's the stat god. He has all the stats. He has all the stuff that he's done. He has all the accolades. So it's the same thing people argue for LeBron. But again, Russ always gets looked at in a different list. Bron has broke 1,000 different things in his career. And Russ has done the same thing in the point guard realm and still is looked at as lesser than others.
I know Chris got IT on that list.
Yeah, you know I got it.
Isaiah Thomas
I got the point guard from 1934.
Isaiah Thomas is another person that I think he's 4.
You already know you ain't about to be
4.
You ain't about to talk about no point guards without bringing my big bro Isaiah Thomas.
I got IT fifth.
So shit, you start. We'll say it right. Magic, right? We don't do this back and forth. Magic.
Either way.
Then y'all can come with, the point guard of today, Steph, right? And then for me is Big O, is Zeke Big O, 3 and 4. Bro, after that, man, it is so many names that
fifth spot is tricky.
Russ, I love you, Russ, but I can't put you over J Kidd.
Oh wow!
Why J Kidd?
Champion, both sides of the floor.
Go ahead, Ashley. She just brought up this. We got to stop bringing
true point guard from the standpoint of how it was played. Different era.
The game changes though, Chris.
The game changes, no doubt. Yeah, right. The game changes.
That's a true point guard. That's my thing.
It's also true.
I mean, just elite rebounder, elite passer, right? So everybody that thinks CP3 is elite from a guard standpoint, is running a team. J Kidd was that and more. You didn't know that J Kidd was an elite rebounder, elite passer?
What the hell is Russell Westbrook?
Comparing him to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I'm saying Russell Westbrook is all that. He doesn't have a championship. That's going to always kind of, be, but he does, but J Kidd ain't got MVPs. I'm just saying, I think that there is no definitive answer to say Gary Payton, J Kidd are not 100% better than him, but I don't know that there's this argument that Russ is necessarily better than guys like that. And then depending on where you put AI, I guess size-wise, you put him as a point guard, but I guess because he played off the ball, maybe I don't know if you put him as a 2 guard. It's just so many guys, man. I just think it's a big drop off.
You, so are we
After
saying
4?
I got those are the top 4. After that,
No, I'm saying after 4 is this a drop off to
yeah, I
whomever
think
just
you
kind
can
of
go.
wrote it.
I think there's like 10 names, that you can argue is better. I definitely think that Gary Payton, Jay Kidd, some people are gonna say Nash, Chris Paul, Russell, and then you got then you're gonna come with like old school guys like shit. Jerry West played the combo guard. Like it's a lot of people.
I'm so
Stockton at
curious
5.
on that. Yeah, I got Stockton after Russell Westbrook. I'm so curious on that though, because
Stockton,
you look at this and so outside of the 3 or
Didn't
4
think
you
the
named,
Stockton.
3 of the 4 names you listed, sure, those solidified. But then like Russ dominates in every other category except for efficiency and does not have a ring. Like those are the only two knocks. So we look at like Jay Kidd does everything better, or not, either does it exactly the same or does it better. But I think like this is where I think I want to shift the narrative with Ashley on this. Like, if the only thing left is a ring versus an MVP, one has a ring, one has an MVP, and we're looking at who was better. For me, I'm looking at the MVP because it tells me you were the greatest player that season to get that award. Whereas the championship, that was a team thing. I don't know if you didn't perform up to performance and the team was just excellent and you got the ring. So that's where I put Russell over a lot of these guys. I have Russ at 5th. I got Magic, Steph, Oscar, IT, Westbrook, and then Stockton and Chris Paul because of how dominant Russ was.
So for you, Darian, so you're putting Oscar over. Well, why are you putting Oscar over from what you just said? He did everything better than him besides winning the championship.
Because until this season, Oscar Robertson was the gold standard on a lot of things. Like that's who Russell Westbrook was chasing, right? So I'm like, okay, you just barely surpassed him, but then at that moment, yes, I'm looking at, okay, now you don't have a ring, but Big O has MVPs, right?
Yes, and then here's the other thing. It became more of a thing in present, right? So when you're comparing present day superstars to past day superstars, it became more of a thing. And you have all this technology behind you where you're getting information in real time. You're literally playing the game and coaches are running up, leave him in there for another 5 minutes, leave him in there for us so that he can chase down these particular awards. You didn't really have that. So Big O averaging a triple-double, he's just going out there hooping every day. And at the end of the day, I get a triple-double. I'm not chasing it. Russ, without a doubt, completely was chasing the triple-double stat. So that to me, that's different.
Are you saying
but
that
Chris, Chris, no, okay, because if you're like the first, we all know, right? If you're first or the introduction to certain things, of course, everybody after you is going to be chasing that. So you can't knock people for that.
I'm not trying to say that you knock it, but because you're chasing what I did as my normal play, because I'm trying to win games, and in my winning games, I believe Big O triple-double is I'm giving my team what they need in winning games. So this is how I play the game. I'm giving it what we need to win. Russ was chasing the statistics based on wins or losses. So it wasn't a caveat like, yo, I got to do this in order for us to win. I'm getting this triple-double whether we win or lose because I need to average this. I want to match this goal.
But his win percentage is very high when he averaged a triple-double. So that's what I'm saying. Like his win percentage is very high when he did that. And also like, Ashley alluded to it earlier, like you still have to get those rebounds. And if you are the point guard plus the person who pushes the ball up the court the fastest, why would you not want him to be on the court? You want your point guard to have the ball. So you're going to box out for your point guard to have the ball. So it's like, I feel like by saying that, you're still kind of alluding to the fact that he's padding his stats.
And then
like he's doing it too.
He did pad the stats. Look at the film. If you look at the film, you will see. Go back to think of the bigs that they had on there. Russ was flying.
Steven Adams, Cantor.
Right. Adams in them. I believe it was part of their strategy. Real talk. Seriously. Steven Adams and them would be boxing guys out, and Russ would be flying in, catching long rebounds. It was a part of their strategic planning to make sure that Russ could come in and secure particular rebounds. That team works with him.
Hold on, let Ashley go.
I was just giving you that
because I got some for that too.
What it is. I mean, that was part of it.
When it comes to that specifically, I don't think you can only categorize that as like stat packing, because I've been on teams where the strategy was to box out so I could get the rebound and get the fuck out.
And go.
No, exactly, because I have typically been one of the fastest people to and a good enough rebounder where it's like, okay, we're gonna box out, but we want Ashley to be able to dive in or this, that, and the third. Like that's a strategic thing that's not only done for stats. Okay, it has happened where like that might be okay. And I think this is interesting because it's kind of similar to the Bam situation where they were allowing this and that. Like, okay, if we know if we know Russ needs 2 more rebounds to get that triple double, like I don't feel like that's something that needs to be like up here in terms of being stat packing. Like I don't think that that's the same as as going into the game and being like, we're literally doing this so Russ can get a triple double. I truly do not believe that that was the thing. And how many times did he only average a triple double once? So
Big
4
O or
times.
Russ?
You think that was the strategy? 4 times? Four times? Has anybody else done that multiple seasons?
Even if it was the strategy, right? We got to give some credit there, right? Because there's not a lot of big men in the league that can grab a rebound and throw an outlet pass or get it up the court as efficiently, effectively, and as quickly as it would take for Russell Westbrook to come down with it and get up the court. Because that's a 4-on-3 advantage at that point in time. Yeah. We just explained how he plays, how fast he is, how quick he is, how much of a dog he is. So at the end of the day, if that's what works, I don't think we should discredit him from being able to also reap the benefits of said strategy for his stats, if that works for that team, and he's capable to do so.
Yeah, he's reaped them, and it's. Well, I don't want to. Like, you guys want to like compound this and turn this into like a debate of like I'm trying to disrespect what he did. I love Russ is one of my favorite players, and I love his energy. And Russ is a dog. They don't like him because he is a dog, because he is in your face, because he will point a finger at you and say, "Quit bullshit." The him and KD falling apart was because he was too much alpha, and KD being your favorite player and all is not alpha. And so at some point that marriage was going to end because we ain't winning nothing. You know what I mean? And it got rocky. Why? Because you going to the other team that knocked us out instead of coming back and fighting and getting it done. So I'm all for Russ. I'm just stating facts. You know what I mean? I'm just stating the information that it is part of their game plan for Russ to fly in and get the rebound. The bigs were boxing out. Russ was flying in. Did he still have to have the energy to do it? Did he still have to accomplish it? Absolutely. I'm literally just saying to you that Big O is better. How about that? Big O is just better. How about that? That Big O better. Big O a champion. Big O was doing it before. That's all.
I just find it so interesting how picky and choosy it is when we look at stats and like, okay, this person's stats is better. This is who the best person is. And then other times it's just opinionated. So I think it's just something that's very interesting to me, because I don't understand how Russ cannot be in the top 5 when his stats and everything and his averages and all that have not been touched by that many people, like ever. So I think that we can't really choose when we're going to be like, okay, the stats are here. This is why this person is better. And then here it's like, well, this is just who's better because I say so. Like, no, in anything.
I agree with you. I'm with you. I'm 100% in agreement with you in that regard from the stats standpoint. I do believe that. I don't think the stats tell the whole story. I think that narratives have changed over the years. Stats have become even more important, and you have a lot of information to chase down statistics. You know what I mean? I just think that stats are a little easier to get in today's game than they were in the past. And from a rebounding standpoint, Big O was getting these rebounds when the league was full of giants. Okay. Still no disrespect to the energy flying in there getting them. The league is not full of giants. The league is now, it was a big man. I'm sorry.
We have 6'8" point guards right now. The league is full of giants. We have a 7'6" point guard. And Wimby, they are giants and athletic now.
You don't have bigs, Murph. I'm saying you don't have bigs. Your bigs have decided to go shoot jump shots.
Traditional. Okay.
Your bigs are now shooting jump shots. How about that?
Let me make it. I was confused.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Shooting jump shots instead of big people being around the rim where the majority of the rebounds are coming. How about that? Let me make
that makes sense.
Okay.
I agree with you on that one.
Was getting these rebounds when there were 7-footers hanging around the rim. How about that for clarity?
Well,
But you don't think
before-
could we say that they arguably boxed out to make sure Big O got the rebound and pushed the ball up the court?
No, they didn't know that. It wasn't a strategy.
Oh, I'm just asking.
Oh my
But-
god.
but-
I think it's possible.
before we
I think
move
you
on
want
to
the
the
ball. I think you want the ball in your point guard's hand at all times. So, like
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
most part. So, that's why I feel like that strategy. I feel like with basketball, you have to have a scheme or a strategy. And if that was a strategy, and he wins 73% of the time when they get a triple double with that strategy, I feel like that's a
pretty good.
solid strategy that you can't knock
Pretty good.
him.
Listen, Russ is outstanding. As long as you don't put him in the top 4, whatever number you put him in works for me. It's a good argument.
I'm not putting him past 4. The only person I'm arguing is IT that could bump him out of the spot. But after that, he my 3.
I looked it up. Like if you factor it, if you take a look, speaking of statistics, if you just factor in their statistics and their individual accolades, you leave the championships out of it. So it's what they did solely themselves as an NBA player. They got Magic ranked 1, they got Steph ranked 2, Big O ranked 3, Chris Paul ranked 4, and they got Russ at 5.
Whoa, why?
I love Chris Paul. Why is he number 4?
Why?
Please tell me why.
Ashley, chime in.
Fuck that.
Come
Why
on
is
now,
Chris
what's
I'm
Paul
trying to
there?
hear why. I can't say nothing until he tells me why. I need to know
Sorry.
what is the reason.
No.
Because
I
the
will
reason,
say something, Chris. Say no. Let me hear it.
because if you have to factor in this, Chris Paul, yes, from an offensive standpoint, he's not what Russ is. But you got to remember, Chris Paul, along being with an 11 All-NBA selection, which is more than Russ, he also has 9 All-Defensive selections, 5-time assist leader, 6-time steals leader. That's why they got him ranked above, because he did the traditional point guard role. He passed the ball, he played defense, and he also scored in a more efficient rate.
Score when needed. Yeah, he
Score
scores
when
true.
needed. So that's why he's ranked ahead of Russ.
That's true.
I'm
I
not
know-
even mad at that. First of all, I'm really not even mad at that. And I'm not, because I'm not even familiar with Big O's game to really be saying that. My thing was not that he shouldn't be above Russ or even there in general. My thing is that you were saying that you weren't even sure if Russ was in the top 5. That's what I was talking about personally. So I don't care if Big O is necessarily there. And I also think that it's because you were talking about how Russell Westbrook was chasing Big O and his, I think you were saying his average of averaging a triple double, right? I also think that to be able to chase that and then do it 3 times over is also a feat in its own. So I think that's part of the conversation too that people don't like to talk about. So that's what I was saying. I wasn't saying that he shouldn't be above Russ, whatever the case. I was saying that you can't have somebody like Russell Westbrook who has done things that very few people, if anybody will ever do that again in terms of how many times he's done it, the energy that he brings with it, being the lifeline of the team, which is not even considered cool anymore. Everybody wants to be the calm, cool, collected sniper. Like that's what the thing is. So I think that's just different.
Ashley, let me say you're 100% right. And also, it's the same sentiment that most people use, including myself, with Kobe and Michael Jordan. Kobe chased Michael Jordan, came 1 championship short, did everything that Jordan did, got his whole game down, perfected it, played it basically, very efficient, same way, same move, same everything. So yeah, I'm all for that. I agree.
Chris is on you now.
Moving along, Bill Simmons is worried. Bill Simmons is worried that Carlos Boozer's, well, that's a BBB. Carlos Boozer's bully ball style at Duke is a college one-trick pony. Is he right to be skeptical, or is he ignoring the fact that Boozer is actually 18 years old, freshman, and at Duke with a high basketball IQ?
Official squad, Aaron.
No, he's not right. He's 18 years old.
He's
So-
the youngest one, right?
He's the youngest one. All right. He's a freshman who's probably going to go top 3. And you don't know what you're going to get until he gets to the NBA. and depending on which team drafts him, you don't know how they're going to use him. All right. Obviously, he has some things to work on. What 18-year-old rookie doesn't? All right. And not only that, Duke has a history of their players doing pretty well when they get to the next level. All right. It's between them and Kentucky who has the most success in terms of which guys translate to that next level. So I don't know what the hell Bill Simmons is talking about. He's basing this off what? One game? Did he bring up any other game besides that UConn game?
No, I think he's talking about the style. I think he's going with, I see where he's going, right? He's going with, he's not stretching the floor. He's not, outside of a couple sets that they run late. He's not really handling the ball. So he's not showing from I don't know how tall he is, legitimately 6'8", 6'9", forward. In today's game, right, we're talking about this. There's not many bigs, that's hanging around the rim at 6'8". 6'8" guys, as you guys alluded to, they shooting threes and jump shots and everything else. So I get his point. And then he's not a freak athlete. He's not jumping over everybody and things of that nature. So he does have to, rely on his physicality to get it done. But I think that, to your point, I think he's still young. I think that there's areas of his game that can still fill out, even from the physical standpoint. He might be super bully ball, right? If he becomes a Giannis-ish level bully ball, then shit, bully, right? That works. It can work. The fact that you do have a lack of bigs that hang around the rim, if you go to the right team, and you are super effective in the post or in that block or in that area, some teams you see it in the playoffs, some teams think, shit, we got to have a post game. We need an inside game. So if you land with the right situation, you can help that narrative. But I do believe that ultimately, just overall with the 30 teams, he does need to develop a perimeter skill set and definitely be able to switch defensively. You know what I mean? To be able to switch everything. Everybody's switching everything. So to be able to switch out on guards defensively, he is going to need some work there. And it's going to be a challenge. Will he be a top 3 pick? I think he's still a top 3 pick. Just because look at all that upside, right? He's 18 years old. He's already dominating his peers. Shout out Mark Workington for that term, dominate your peers. He's always doing that. So I'm not mad. He's not 100% wrong, but I think the young man has time to improve in a lot of different areas.
I think if you're saying like he doesn't have the athleticism and he's playing this bully ball type of style, I can name a guy who that worked for. Zebo. That ain't too bad. He could be Zebo, but be able to stretch the floor more eventually once he gets a jump shot on him. You know what I'm saying? A more consistent 3. And he didn't shoot bad from the 3 this year. He shot it 40-something% from 3.
Yeah, 39.1.
So those first 2 years, go ahead, be Zebo. And then as time goes on, start to stretch out a little bit. All right, get further and further back until you can start taking niggas off the dribble. Next thing you know, you are Giannis. All right.
But I think to Chris's point, though, like that the game has changed, and that's like it's becoming a rarity now. I think me and Chris are aligned, and like we want to see that more in the NBA and everything. So I don't think he's wrong to like have that being skeptical like that. I really don't, especially when you look at what probably. Specifically like 1 through 5 in the draft, you're looking for them to come and be an immediate impact. So you're talking about his upside, his potential, and all that. Like, okay, that's cool. But if you have a limited, I guess, if you're limited in where you can go to create that limited impact, I think that hurts like your stock value a little bit, or like where you're able to go. If you have to go to this specific team to come in and make an immediate impact, like you definitely have the right to be like skeptical and everything. So I don't think that that's wrong.
Great take. Pin that
well
D.
Fucking said. Hey, I can't pin it today, but
I know.
Pin that motherfucker. I like that. Where the sound effects at? Slacking. I'm telling you, slacking in 2 areas, Junior.
Damn, how you fire on live?
Excellent. We don't even have to go into that.
Real quick, I was about to say another. What happened?
I said we don't have to do
I
the
was just
closing
gonna
question,
say.
guys.
I was just gonna say, it's hard for me to, call a dude who's right about his skepticism when he has a history of just being flat out wrong. All right, a history of it. What did he say? He said the 2009 draft. This is the worst draft in 9 years. It stinks. The 2009 draft has Steph Curry, James Harden, Blake Griffin, DeMar DeRozan, and Drew Holiday. He said the Cleveland Cavaliers trading Darius Garland to the LA Clippers for James Harden was wrong. I think that's worked out for both teams. What else? Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic. Yeah, how'd that work out? Let's see. You can't expect 75 games in 2025. In late 2025, Simmons argued that because of the pace of play, we should stop expecting stars to play more than 65, 70 games. They're still playing 65 to 70 games, Bill.
Hey, when you were going off that list of trades, what was the second trade you said?
He said the trade for Darius Garland and James Harden was wrong.
And then you said,
if you asked me, it's worked. There was no trade. He said Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic.
No. The one you said. The Cavs one.
The Darius Garland.
You said it worked out?
Yeah, it's worked out for both.
Actually, what did he say when we were in Tennessee?
No. Here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to push my word. No. Because I can go back and easily recall what I said. I said, you asked, what do you expect for them from a playoff standpoint? And
nothing. They ain't going to win shit. That's what you said.
They ain't going to win nothing. Because like I've said all the time, when you make a big midseason trade for a superstar, the chances of you winning it that year is slim to none because it's only ever happened once. Detroit bad boy Pistons. So I stand by that. They're not going to win it this year.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Open up the big ears of those and come on
now. I hear limited. I just want a record that you said it's working out. That's all.
Yeah, it's working out, but that doesn't mean
it is working out.
Want to carry them to the promised land.
We don't know that because it's working out right now. It's working out right now. We don't know that.
But this year, they're not beating Detroit.
I love it. I said I love James Harden with the big man. Oops all day, baby. All right. Going off of that. Oh, this is you. My bad. Do your sponsor, Ed.
Yeah. And that's always the questions, y'all, with young players. What translates and what doesn't? Because we can project all day, but this time of the year, there's no projection left. Once you get down to the Final Four, kind of changes. You start seeing which teams are actually solid, not just talented, but the ones that stay steady when things get tight. I've watched enough of these to know games like this usually come down to a couple possessions and even a couple mistakes. So when I'm sitting there watching, I'll check my bookie just to see if what I'm thinking about the game actually lines up. You got teams like Michigan and Arizona that look strong, but sometimes it's that team that catches a rhythm at the right time, like UConn, them bitch-ass niggas, that makes it interesting. And if you do throw something on it, they'll cover that first bet up to $500. So if it doesn't go your way, get another shot.
I love it. So we knew Wemby was going to be effective defensively, right? Change the game, right? He's become a defensive alien, especially in that regard. But when his offensive talent was brought up, right, there was questions like, how much of an offensive threat will he be? He got KD comparisons, rightfully so. But looking at his game now, especially the jump he's made from last year to this year, in the future, how do we see him offensively? Is he someone that will eventually pass, the people that we hold in high regard as being offensive threats like KD and Melo, T-Mac, and even from, that position of being a power forward, center-ish, Dirk Nowitzki?
Repeat the question one more time.
Will his offense eventually be in conversations with the elite, like a KD, a Melo, a T-Mac, and a Dirk?
Yes. But he has to figure it out because I'm seeing too many times where he should be posting up and he's out on the wing. And sometimes when he's out on the wing, when he should be posting up. I would love if he adds this to his game, he will be unstoppable in the post. Add that one-legged fadeaway that Dirk had. Who's blocking that?
Nobody's blocking it now, but yeah, I get you.
But still, he's trying to do it off a hezzy pull-up like KD, and I'm just like, my brother, I get it. You ain't got the biggest frame. You ain't got that weight on you yet. But if you post up and just simply the 1-2, nobody's blocking that, dog. I'm not saying you got to be Hakeem Olajuwon down there with all the moves and the footwork or be the dominant paint presence like Shaq, but I need to see a little bit of a post game where you kind of like catches in the post, face up like Tim Duncan and take him off the dribble that way. Not everything got to be a tween, dog. You do that, you're gonna open up so many levels of fucking scoring. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's highly probable that he surpasses people in that conversation in the offensive talent. I think that because of the conversation that's around him right now, so young into his career, and with the upside and the potential, like he has virtually no ceiling. So I think that it's definitely something that can definitely be in conversations soon.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Kind of
Kyle.
piggyback on what Aaron said. Like, I think he relies too much on the fact that he can't handle the ball. So I think he wants the ooh and ah moments right now until he like once he decides like, all right, like I'm bigger than you, I'm taller than you at least, and then if he gains about 20 pounds, like it's gonna be a problem. Like if he has another, like if he has a little spurt like Giannis did when they saw him as like, you know, this high ceiling and then he came back swole. If he does that in the offseason, then he's gonna be a problem. I don't see anybody stopping.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the panel. I think it's, first of all, I think he's going to do his own thing. I don't think he's going to give us what any of us want to see. It's like this. We either want to see him go in the Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki category, being a guy that's finesse and shooting jumpers and things like that, and take his skill to a even, you know, to a higher level. Or we want to see him bulk up and get strong and be dominant and be Giannis, Shaq-ish, if you will, Olajuwon, you know, a guy that's a little bit more physically prominent, you know, but and hang more around the rim and take advantage of his size. I'm guessing that he's not going to necessarily go either side and continue to stay in the middle and probably just end up being a little bit better on both areas. If he does that, we don't know. It's going to be new. It's going to be, you know, like you guys talk about often, like we've never seen this before, right? Like I think it's going to fall in that space, and then we'll be comparing guys to him later. I mean, I have never seen a player do the things that he does outside of Ralph Sampson. Ralph Sampson is the only player that I have that was that type of size and had skill set, could start and push the fast break, could run with it, could finish it, could block and do. That's the only person I've ever seen do that. And he leveled out because of injuries and things of that nature. And he was locked up with Olajuwon, and the game was different. So I think whatever he does is going to be something new. Yeah, Bobo's a good one, but you know, it's like Bo didn't have a team supporting him to allow him to continue to grow and develop and play like that, or continue to fall on teams that, you know, that wanted more from him from a physical standpoint. When you're so tall like that, man, like, and you want to do all that on the perimeter, I believe that you have to have a team that buys in, which the Spurs are doing. And allow you to continue to grow and develop in that space. So I don't know. I would love to see it. The T-Mac comparisons and Dirk, like these are some really offensively gifted individuals. His skill set definitely has to mature tremendously in order to reach that. But, you know, he has time. He has great ability. Got all the tools that you need to continue to grow. So I'd love to see it happen. It just, I don't know if we're going to see that evolution the way that we want to.
For me, at least, I don't know if it's anything like, I don't think it's weight. For me, I think it's two aspects to his game that I would like to see, because and obviously you guys know how I feel about KD, but one of the things I appreciate the most about KD, well, two things I appreciate the most about KD, especially as a scorer, is one, he's mastered that midi, which I think if you're an elite scorer, if you look at all the elite scorers we talk about, they all had that midi down lock. But then two, you know, Kevin Durant's the most efficient player we've ever seen. And there's not a lot of wasted motion in this game, right? He might have a 1-2. I'm sorry, what, Chris? He's not the most efficient scorer.
What's the guy on Fox?
Denver?
No, on Fox that always talks about this. Statistically, he's not. Like, he does a whole rundown on how LeBron is more efficient than KD, but I'm with you. I'm with you.
So there's no narrative around KD that he's one of the most efficient.
We say
scores,
that, right?
We say he'll get 50 on 7 shots.
Listen,
that's not a thing.
I'm with you on that. I'm just simply saying, statistically, the statistics don't necessarily identify him that overall. But I'm happy for you to go with that narrative. So continue.
Okay, we'll use that. Kevin Durant is not the most efficient scorer we've ever
Nah,
seen.
come
LeBron
on,
James.
man.
No, we're
Don't
going with
get
that. We're going with
offended.
that because that's
Don't
crazy.
get
No, we're
offended.
going with that. I have to
Don't
because
get
that's
offended.
crazy. That aside, even if he's not right, he's let's say if Wemby just becomes a little bit more efficient, gets to his spots, doesn't use a lot of wasted motion, and masters the mini, then yes, I think he'll be probably much more dangerous than Kevin Durant, especially at his height.
Agreed.
I
know
let
I'm
me see.
sensitive.
I'm going back to that Katie thing. It's time to piss some niggas off. All right.
Hey, I got a question for you there. Go ahead.
I mean, let's see. I mean, who'd you say the guy is that says LeBron is statistically the more efficient scorer?
What's my man name on that? That piss everybody off.
The dude got the John Wick.
Well, he just pissed me off by default.
I know.
Okay,
mouth pissed me off.
I'm about to go through every single shooting statistic that that they clock or log. In terms of true shooting percentage, Kevin Durant is higher. Effective field goal percentage, Kevin Durant is higher. Player efficiency rating, LeBron James is higher. Efficiency by distance, that means at the rim, mid-range, free throw. At the rim, it's LeBron, hands down. Mid-range, it's Kevin Durant. Free throw line, it's Kevin Durant. So if we're talking about who is more efficient, it depends. If you define efficiency as points per shot, it's KD. If you define efficiency in terms of total impact per possession, it's LeBron James.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious too. Like KD is in that 50, 40, 90 club. Like that's elite company. You have to be efficient to get there.
I am not. It's like
my efficiency
was Jokic. Yeah, go ahead.
My efficiency argument was Jokic. You said the greatest efficient player, most efficient player ever.
Yes, I'm sorry. Greatest,
100%
most efficient scorer, elite scorer. If we want to get real technical,
that's what I was
he is the most efficient elite scorer at 7 feet. Does that work? Do I have to go that deep into it?
Okay.
Which is crazy.
You win. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate because then you got to bring in all the old guys.
Who's an elite scorer? What old guy is 7 foot and was an elite scorer like Kevin Durant?
7 foot guys back in the day, they're not even gonna have a 3-pointer.
I'm saying they didn't have these like Kevin. They didn't have 3-pointers like Kevin.
All the scoring.
But if you can only score in the paint and you can do it, you can get 100 points like that, then you're not an elite scorer in my opinion. You're a one-dimensional scorer that did it at high
let's
volume.
go with let's go. Here we go. The Dwyane definition of efficiency in elite scoring. Kevin Durant is the all-time most efficient Darian Robinson elite scorer in basketball. Sure. So we're good with that. Let's go.
Okay.
In my argument for Jokic, I feel like towards the end of the career, I think that Jokic would pass him in efficiency on his trajectory that he's doing right now.
I can see that
because he scores just as well. I'm not saying I'm picking. You know what I'm saying? He scores just as well.
I think the word we're looking for missing out is versatile.
There you go.
Definitely more versatile. Yeah. Well, actually, I still think I'm putting Jokic in there too, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
If you think, I would. The day I see Jokic hit somebody with a tween on the wing, oh my God.
Moves, I don't think moves make you a bucket.
How come you didn't use the word delusion with Kyle, man?
No. I'm not. That's not delusion. Like Jokic, that's not delusion.
Hold
up,
I just defended your guy, and here you are bitching and moaning.
I need it all. I don't take my small ones. I need it all. If you're gonna defend me, you got to defend me full-fledged right now. So
what?
Does flashiness make you a better scorer? I'm just asking.
I'm not even factoring flashiness. I'm just saying in terms of versatility,
it's not 100%
multiple levels of scoring. If we're talking about who hits all levels, 6-7 levels. KD is the first person that comes to mind. Kyrie will be second. Shea will be third. Luka will be fourth. Those are the first 4 that come to mind.
So, does Jokic not?
Go on, put in your computer, whatever you go and put in your AI box. Put Kawhi in there. Put Barkley.
I put Kawhi in there too. Kawhi's a very versatile.
Barkley, KD, Jokic. Shit.
I'm just saying, what does Jokic not do? He's just not as flashy. Steph Curry, I like that one too. But what does Jokic not do? That what does Jokic do?
He does
Like,
not.
What does KD do?
KD is very great at getting buckets without the ball. KD could easily get 20 points, and he doesn't even have to. He could just come off a bunch of off-ball screens. Jokic has to have the ball in his hands in order for him to be effective. If you ask Jokic, hey, Jokic, you're not bringing up the ball all tonight. We're just going to have you set screens and try to get your buckets off pick and rolls. How many points is he possibly going to have?
But all right, vice versa. For sake of argument, if KD did that, I don't.
If KD, if they say KD, all your buckets are going to be from you coming off pin downs, flares, back screens, cutting, slashing, I guarantee he could end the game with at least 20 points. Jokic, you're not going to ask him to do that because you know he's not capable of doing it.
It's because he's a big ass tree trunk running down the street.
Okay, one's a fat 7-footer and one's a skinny 7-footer. You can't use their physical, dynamics against them. All right, when you want to. All right.
Argument for efficiency. I just think Jokic is a more efficient player than KD.
I think KD has a category of his own. Smooth, 7 foot. We ain't seen a guy with his skill set and his efficiency play away from the rim at that size and be super efficient. He's efficient as any guard. He's efficient as bigs, and so he is a unicorn in that regard, but he's not these blatant statements. The most efficient scored. He's just not those answers, but he is a unicorn in the sense that he is the one player that we all look at 7 foot that can do it from all levels, away from the rim, close to the rim, and it looks good because he is 7 feet. But there are others that, that have similar efficiency. All of those that we've named, including LeBron. But
Jokic just happens to be the top.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. The Chicago Bulls officially waived Jaden Ivey on Monday following some controversial anti-LGBTQ plus comments he made on Instagram, as well as some other various statements that he made after that. List just goes on and on. Coach Billy Donovan stated that the remarks didn't reflect the values of an organization that employs people from all different walks of life. Ashley, I need to get your opinion on this.
On the situation or him being
what's your opinion on comment? No, what's your opinion on the situation?
I'm not gonna sit here and say it like that. I watched the videos. I've seen like bits and pieces and everything. And I just feel like there are just certain things that as a public figure and somebody who like you are pulling in people of all different backgrounds in whatever the case may be, there's no reason to speak on things that heavily, and from what I've heard, he is overly vocal about like his religion and kind of preaching. And in today's society, whether you think it's right or wrong, that's not something that's necessarily accepted. And you have to be kind of careful about it because there are other religions that you want to respect and make space for, and everything. So I just think it's terrible. As somebody who is a member of the LGBTQ community, I think that it's just stupid. Like, you can have your ideals, your ideas, and your beliefs and everything, but it's not necessarily something that needs to be paraded around. And like it's hateful. I think that people can live their lives and it doesn't need to affect you. It doesn't need to like rile you up in something that literally has nothing to do with you, how other people live their lives. With this specifically. So I just think it's grossly incompetent, and I think that I honestly commend the organization for making what's it called? Like making that decision and understanding that those comments were hurtful and hurt a large community and people honestly outside of that community too, and allies. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that. Thanks.
Aaron, you and Chris watch a lot of the NFL. Did I read not too long ago that they're now expanding mental health resources for players, making all teams hire some type of mental health
Sports
doctor
psychologist.
at facilities. You think that's something that, this aside, you think that's something, if that is the case with him, which a lot of people are alluding to, you think that's something that all sports should adopt?
I think it's been a thing for a while, hasn't it? Hasn't it gone back to like the early 2000s? I'm not saying every team had it, but a good amount of teams did have a sports psychologist that was on staff being paid for by the teams, and if players were going through a rough time, they would go see said doctor or mental health specialist. It just back then, it just wasn't glorified. You like a lot of people don't even know today that sports psychologist is an occupation. They don't even know that.
I did not. So that's true.
Yeah, it's a legit occupation. You got to go to, a doctoral program in order to get that. And if you're lucky enough, you get to work with either a high major program like a Division I level team or even a professional team. But there's like Ron Artest has spoke about how he went to go see one after the Malice at the Palace.
Yeah. So
Gilbert talked about how he did it when he was going through his gun situation. It's just something that you don't know is out there. You don't know what resources are available until like you do a little bit of research and realize like, oh, there are specific people that help specific kinds of people.
No, I mean, I feel like such rare air. People put these, especially with the media now, you have to have this persona per se, I guess, like that you have to have on at all times. So I don't think a lot of people want to humble themselves to like let them know that they're people, even if somebody does say that they're people. Like if somebody of that caliber or who's famous be like, I am a person at the end of the day, I don't think a lot of people have the cognitive sense to actually understand, give this person space. Like, what was the game recently and they lost and the fans was flicking them off, yelling at them, telling all that stuff, how they going back into the tunnel? That was like somewhere recent, like 2 weeks ago. Like that's crazy to me. I wouldn't even think to do that, but people feel as if they can just step on people like that because they're in the light. But like you see what VTech said, Ash, MPJ next.
I did. That's why I pointed that.
That's your boy.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I think that sorry, D, you got something else?
I was gonna close. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that first of all, with the mental health, everybody has that. It's the problem is I think that Kendrick Perkins spoke on this recently, and he was talking about how when he played, he was in the drug program and he went to see mental health for anger issues. And it's something that typically, especially in minority communities, is something that you are frowned upon, right? Like, man, you crazy, you loony, you whatever. You get talked about if you feel like you need to go talk to someone. So, but it is available. There are resources there, and it is a joint relationship between your players association, the unions, and your league office, where it's covered and paid for by the teams, and you have your players association, your union, if you will, to support you, to back you, to make sure that there's no backlash for doing that, for seeking that mental health. So that's that part is definitely there. In regards to Ivy, and I'm gonna just go farther with Ivy and just those that are in the space or that would categorize themselves followers of Christ, right? This is what tends to happen in politics, in sports, in speaking out. And it's just my random opinion, and I'm not going to be perfectly correct, but I am a follower of Christ. And individuals feel like that Christ, right? These are sins. These are things that you shouldn't do. These are things, all these things in the Bible are pointed out. But what is Christ like? Christ, when he was here on the earth, he was with everyone, right? The only people that he called out the most were the Pharisees. Well, who are the Pharisees? The Pharisees were the religious leaders. He talked about, you guys are all hypocrites. You're pointing and talking about this person, that person, so on and so forth. And ultimately, you're the hypocrites. Jesus hung out with everybody. Like if he was here today, he would be with all sinners because everyone is of sinners. And that is the angle that he's trying to go with. And without looking at yourself and saying, well, I believe, right? I believe that you're doing this, whether it's right or wrong. This is what I believe. But Christ-like would be, looking in the mirror and figuring out what you need to be working on, and not using your energy and your platform to point out what you believe others are doing. And that's something that really irritates me a lot with just the whole space. You know what I mean? Of just determining who's setting the bar for what's right or wrong, which is why I was one that wasn't necessarily against the whole thing with the whole Magic City with the Atlanta Hawks, right? It's like, oh man, what are you doing? This is terrible for women. But then there's all these women that say, well, what do you mean? So you're saying my job, my work, my profession is terrible and things of that nature. So the whole idea of all categories, everybody feeling like you can point the finger and determine who's right, who's wrong, who's whatever. For me, I just think, man, let everybody do whatever it is you're going to do, you do what you do, and you live with what comes out of whatever that is. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm right or I'm wrong, but that's Funk take on it. And
I like that.
It can be appreciated.
I like that.
I feel he has solid intentions, just terrible execution. It's solid, terrible execution, but
God is good.
All the time.
all the time.
Hey, now. Okay. All right. And on that note, we are out of here. I will say, chat, again, amazing. And that's how we continue to build this the right way, right? With you guys. It's not just us talking, it's us, including you, and doing this together, because we are a community. So we appreciate everyone that was tapping in today, especially you, Dove Tech. You're always here. And again, number one, thank you, man. You are the gold standard in terms of building a community. We will tap back in with you early morning Friday. Very excited about that. But again, make sure you like, subscribe, and keep rocking with us. We'll be back on Friday. Junior, you can go ahead and close it out.